Hi, so in this, the first of a series of videos, we're going to look at how to set up our own Weebly website and to edit it, and we're going to go through pretty much everything you need to know, and then I'm going to do additional videos which you can also access on specific items. So we're going to start as though you know nothing about how to edit a website and you want to be able to do that rather than pay somebody else to do it. So Weebly I recommend largely because whilst there are a handful of really good platforms out there, I think Weebly is simple and you can still get a really nice professional result from it. They're all much of a muchness in terms of value, I would say. Yeah, without any further ado, let's just get started. So looking first of all at, this is what you get to when you open a Weebly account. Now Weebly accounts are free, so click on open account, set it up with an email address, a username and a password, and then you will come into this page, which is the overview page. So the first thing you're going to want to do, you've got here the various things that you have to do to go live. So the first thing you need to do is obviously design the website. So clicking on design, you say design your site, and you can choose a layout, etc. You can either do that later and then just go into other stuff, but we're gonna start by designing. So this has now loaded what you'll see a lot of, which is it went through the editing platform now, and now because it's the first time that we've accessed this, it's going to show us a selection of potential web templates that we can use. Now you don't have to use these, you could just select one and then delete everything and start again, but it gives you, it's professional graphic designers have put this together, and it does give you the options to some ideas on how to start. So we can see here we've got various themes to choose from. Okay, so these themes are designed by professionals. You can see they look pretty good, and you can choose a look and go from there. Now a few recommendations here. Don't get so distracted by the images as such, because a professional image is always going to make a website look good. So you can put whatever images you want into your own site. So don't worry about that. Think more about what does the site look like. And that's not necessarily text, because you can change the text style, the font style, all that sort of thing. But it's things like, where is the menu? How is the menu set out? Okay. Because that's probably something you won't be able to change much other than font style, and whether it's centered or whatever, you might be able to do that. But you can see that the menu on different sites is set out differently. Okay, and you see, for example, there. So we've got the menus here on this one, and the menu is here on this one. It's set up like that, like the burger on that one. So think about what you want. Now some of these websites menus, once you reduce the width, if you're viewing the published website, the menu will automatically go to burger, or if you're viewing it on a phone, it'll automatically go to burger. So sometimes you can't tell that straight away, but let's choose this one. I just happen to like this one with this menu here and then a big quality image there. So I'm going to select that one. Now this is basically the theme preview. So I can now have a look around this theme and see if it's the sort of thing I'm looking for. Now this one is based primarily around a shop. But don't worry about that. You can always add a blog to it. You can change the focus from being from a shop to a blog. You can delete the shop. So don't worry about that. It's just this one just happens to be set up like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is once we're happy with that, if we say yep, we're going to choose that one, we then start editing. So it's creating the basic site for me because it's the first time I've signed into Weebly. So it's creating a site, and it's creating it based on this theme. And then from here we're going to start to edit, and that's what the rest of the series will be about, how to edit your own website. Okay, so here it's asking if you want to select your domain name. Well, we're going to worry about that another time. I'm not going to deal with that now. What we're just doing now is editing the website. Ooh, I just got paid for something. What we're going to do now, we've loaded a theme and we're ready to start editing. So I'm going to talk to you for the rest of this video talk you around how this works. So we're not going to do any specific editing, but I'm going to illustrate to you how you do things and how the whole system works. Okay, so first of all, if you move your cursor around, you can see that because this isn't the published website, this is the back end, the edited part of it, where we edit the site. We can see that each element on the site is created in a little box. So this area here is called the header, and if we go up here you can see we're in the build section at the moment. If we click on pages, top left, that shows us all the pages that the current theme comes with. Now we can add pages as we wish. So to add a page, go to pages, click the plus, and you can add a page here. So you can either add a standard page, a blog page, which is just basically a page that's got the code in it set up for you to add blogs, add blog articles. A category page. So a category page is a page which highlights various categories of items in your shop. So you might have a camera category page. If you're an electronics shop, then you might have a computer category page or a laptop category page, and then you could populate that page with all those categories, or rather with a category with all the products in that category. So the next one is product page. So product page is like category page. It's a specific page which is set up so that you can embed one specific product item that's in your store. So you've uploaded a product item in your store, a widget, and that widget has information and photographs attached to it. And then you create a product page and you select that item, the widget, to be the primary part of that product page. And then you can edit that page with additional information underneath. Okay, so it's just the way it's set up, right? You don't want to be, it has the initial code in it to be able to display an item from your inventory, from your shop inventory, rather than you have to write all the code. Okay. Then you've got external page. So that basically would mean that when you clicked on one of these links down here, the external page would be, when you clicked on the link, it would take you to an external page like Amazon, for example. And then non-clickable link or menu. So that means that when you go here and you click on these, when you click on them, it takes you to a different page. But if you had a non-clickable link menu, okay, then that would mean when you went over the header and clicked, that this little hand thing wouldn't come up. You wouldn't be able to click it. But what would happen is a sub-menu would open underneath with clickable links to pages. So that's the different types of page that you can create. Now that's important because later on you can get yourself in a bit of a mess if you're trying to embed items into a standard page and not into a product page. Or you might want to put items in a standard page in a gallery, but you create a product page and you can't do it. or you can't do it the way you want to do it. So it's worth understanding the basics. Okay, so those are the different types of pages. Those are the existing pages in place at the moment. And you can see here, all of these, as you can see from the icon, are all standard pages. Okay, so there's no, that even the shop there, standard page. It's all standard pages. The other thing is you can see here there's a little house, so that is the home page at the moment. And it happens to be called the home page too. It doesn't have to be called the home page. You can call it anything you want. You just basically to change the name or the other SEO information on a page, say I'm going to click on home page, and now I've got my page name there. If I wanted to, I can click this box, which means that, as you can see down here, we've got home, yeah. But if I hit hide navigation, then it takes it off the menu, so you can't see that page. The page is still there. You could link from an image or from a hyperlink to that page and it would show, but it's just not shown in the menu. Okay, so I'm going to unclick that so it comes back. And then the options we have for all standard pages, you've got header option. So this varies theme to theme. Some themes have more options, but this is fairly standard. So we've got header, that's the header. We can have no header, which means that we just end up with a page like that with no header. Okay. Or you can go splash. Now, to go to splash here, if I do that, as you can see, changing this will merge all your sections. So I'm not going to do that, but I am going to tell you what the sections are. So let's put the header back. So what's a section? A section is basically, as the name suggests, a part of the page. So this is one section from there to there, and then this is the next section, and then this is the next section. Okay, now using sections is, I thoroughly recommend, because it enables you to have little subsections of a page, and then say you create one subsection with a subscription option and some information about you and maybe a little video insert or something like that, and you've done that on your home page, but then you think, well, I'd quite like that on my About Me page as well, or on my contact page. Well, rather than having to design the whole thing again, you can just go to a particular section, click on it, and then here you've got move, delete, edit background. Well, we'll talk about edit background another time. That's basically changing this. But if you click on move, it gives you an option. You can either move the whole section to another page, or you can copy to another page or onto this page. So if I was to just click there and click on this page, home, yep, and hit copy, it would copy this whole section underneath, and then I can drag that section around on that page. Or if I wanted to copy it to another page, I can just select the page I want to put it to, say contact page, and I could click on contact, and then it would copy or move that section, depending on what you choose, to that page as well. And then you just go to that page and drag it to where you want on the page. So editing in sections is a good habit to get into. It's also nice because when you scroll down the page, you can select different options for what happens. So scrolling effect. So on this one, on this theme, we've got a reveal or no scrolling effect. So no scrolling effect just shows you the options. As you scroll down, shows you the sections like one page. But if you have reveal set up, then when you scroll down the page, and you need to publish to see this, each section, as you scroll down it, this section, new arrivals, will start to fade in. And then the section under that, if you do the same for that one, will start to fade in. And that can look quite nice. It could be quite a nice little professional touch just with the click of a button. So you can have reveal or none. Okay. And then changing the background color, we'll go into in another video, but it's all fairly self-explanatory. Right, so we've gone through the types of pages, and we've established that to get to the pages, you click on pages, you click on a specific page to get more information, And then to go back to the menu, just click the back arrow. Okay. So let's just go to this image. As I say, we could hide it from navigation if we wanted to, but we don't want to take it off the menu. We can change whether we have a header, whether it's a splash page, or whether it has no header. Visibility. So all visibility means is that, is it visible to everybody that visits the website, which in most cases it will be, or is it a special page that you only want certain people to have access to, so maybe employees or something like that, in which case you can set a password for it so that nobody else will be able to look at that page except for people with a password. Or you can set it to members or groups. So if you set it to members or groups, and to do this you need to have a Weebly package which enables you to have members and groups. Not all of them do. But then it means that only people that sign into your website that you allow, and you can automatically allow people to become members, they can access specific member pages. So for example, you might have specific offers or specific items that are only for sale to members, or services that are only available to members, or content that's only available to members. And it might be specific members, which you can select in the back of the platform that we'll look at another video, or it might be a group of members, and you can break your membership up into groups. So you could have a silver tier, a gold tier, whatever. So that gives you that option for visibility. So that's not to be confused with making the menu here, making these invisible. Okay, so to do that, you have to go to hide in navigation. Okay. The next thing is that with a standard page, and as I said, all of these pages are standard, you can copy the page and it will just make a copy of this particular page. You can then rename the page and you can edit the page. So if you've got a particular style or theme that you want to run through, then you could work on one page and get that right in various in a nice layout that you like. And then after you've set the layout and you've got everything right, maybe it's got 3 or 4 sections to the page, then you could copy that 4 or 5 times to get all the other pages of the website looking the same, and then you could edit each page individually for the specific purpose that it has. So last but not least, and this is important on a website, is SEO. So that's search engine optimization. Now, SEO is a complex and ever-changing science, and I don't pretend to be any sort of expert at all on SEO, but I do understand its importance. So SEO, basically what you want, every bot that is scraping the internet on behalf of Google, for example, it's scraping all of the web pages on the internet, and then it's categorizing them. And it's categorizing them based on algorithms. And the idea is that you want that bot to read your page and to judge it, and to judge it well. So judge it based on what is the content on the page. So is it relevant to a Google search, for example? So if it's a skiing blog and somebody is searching for that sort of thing, you want it to come up high on the list. And so as it's grading, it's going to be wanting to know, well, how good is this option to show to somebody who's searching? And it's a very complicated and involved sort of process, but something which tends to run through all of it is that you want the website to work properly. So you don't want lots of dead links where you click on links, hyperlinks, and they go nowhere, to 404 errors or something. So it's important that you're good with your housekeeping and your organization of the website. And then you also want things like the page title, the page hyperlink, so the name of the page that it's called when you click on it, www.mypage/shoppage.html. Okay, so it might be called shop, that's what you're using, but it's also shoppage.html. So it's a good idea for those two to have some relevance to each other. And then the page description, which is going to come up in your search engine on your Google search, for example. So that's what's going to show up underneath your web address. So you want that to be good so that when people read it, it's appealing. But you also want it to be rich in keywords. So if it's a skiing blog, you're skiing, powder, whatever. And then under that, meta keywords. So this is a more basic, slightly clumsy way of putting meta keywords, so keywords that the bots are going to read, scatter them into the page, and you separate each word with a comma. So just type the word, comma, type the word, comma. So that might be skiing, mountains, holidays, sport, winter sport, and you'd throw those all in there. And you'd want those to be words that you're going to use in your blog or in your shop or on your pages. And then the name of your blog as well would be nice. So if it said my skiing blog, for example. So then when a bot looks at it, it goes, right, this is called my skiing blog. The first page is skiingblog.homepage. And then underneath it says, this is the homepage for my exciting skiing blog, where I ski all through the year, blah, blah, blah. And the meta keywords might be skiing, fun, snow, words that people are going to associate with skiing. And the idea is that all of that, plus a site which loads properly and has all the images tagged, which I'll talk about in another video, that are relevant as well. So me skiing in the Alps and things like that. That alt name on the video, on the images. So that all of this together, plus it being a functioning and regularly updated website, should help you to go up the rankings in terms of Google search. And if you're a very successful web page, or in a particularly niche part of an interest sector, you might find yourself on the first page of Google search. So if that happens, then great. But it's going to boil down to the amount of content you put on your website, its quality, how easy it is to access, whether all of the meta keywords plus the description and the name of the website and everything else are all congruent, so they all overlap in terms of their relevance. And so this information is important if you want the website to have any chance of eventually becoming known by the bots and be rated well. And there's a lot more to SEO. This is a fairly basic way of setting different pages with it, but it is important. You mustn't ignore it. You must spend time on this. And then footer code and header code. So footer code and header code, that's for particular meta code for embedding other information into primarily. So we're not coding a website here. All we're doing is dragging and dropping and designing our own. Somebody else has done the coding for us. But sometimes, for instance, Facebook, if you wanted to embed a widget on Facebook into your website, you might be required to cut and paste a little bit of code and put it into the footer or the header code to make it work on your site. Okay, so that is something that you generally get talked through by whoever's providing the widget. So Facebook would have a help page on that sort of stuff. So nearly at the end of the first video, and in terms of introduction, just to recap, we've loaded a theme, we've chosen a theme. If we ever want to change this theme, we can do so. So we just click on theme and change theme, and you go through the whole theme process again. If you've put content on your website, it'll retain that content, so you won't lose the content, but it'll change the way it's displayed in the next theme. And sometimes it can be a bit clunky because not all the themes speak to each other perfectly, so you might end up thinking, oh, I'm going to have to change that completely. But most of the time it's pretty good. You can also, with your theme, change the primary colors that you incorporate. So you can choose your primary color and then your accents. So this will be reflected in things like buttons, hyperlinks, things like that. Or you can choose a theme that's already been set. Okay, so but if you want, you can set your two here. And then, and this is where it really starts to make the site your own, you can change every part of it in terms of fonts, sub-headlines, paragraph titles, text, links. So what color is the link? What font is the link? What color is the link when you hover over it? What size and color are your buttons? Now, buttons is, you've got a large and small button. You can change the font size. The button size itself is set in the theme, so that's not something you can easily change. But you can change and there's not really any need for you to, but you can change things like font. So you've got lots of options for font. Okay, so that's worth playing with to set. I would do that first, and we're going to do that in the next video, so that you're happy with all the fonts on the different pages. So you're happy that they work together, that you've got your title font works well and doesn't look messy with your paragraph font or with your blog title font or something like that. Block quotes, so it gives you different styles for block quotes if you want to put testimonials into a website or something like that. And then you've got image captions and all the rest of it. Okay, and then product element. So that's all of your. This is your store. And that's when you enter your store, that's what does your product title look like, what does the pricing information look like, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so that is all part of the theme option, which is up here. Okay, so going back then to pages, these are the pages we have at the moment. We can move the pages as they are shown, so let's just go to home. So with the editor, you can either click on in the editor, you can click on the page you want, or alternatively you go to pages and then click on the page you want here on the left. Okay, so if we look at home, we can see we've got them laid out like so, and shop is the second item. But say we don't want shop to be there, say we want that to be the third item, we just drag it down. Okay, let's go back to home. Now we can see that shop has moved to be the third item in the menu. Okay, say you wanted shop to be a sub page to about. So there's shop, you want it to be a sub page to about, so just click it and drag it slightly to the right. And now when we go to home, you can see shop is no longer on this list, but when we go to about, it pops up underneath as shop, and we can click on that and go to it. Okay, so what we're going to do is just drag that back to the left to make it a full page, and I'm going to put it back up there where it was before. And then when we look at home, look at our menu, it's back where it was. Okay, right, so we've talked through how you load a theme, how you change a theme, how you go from page to page, how you move the pages around, how you can change from being a primary to a sub category in a menu, how you can make a page either visible or invisible in the menu itself. Okay, we've also got here on this particular one, we've got the name. Acme Inc. is the name of our website that we've decided for the time being. Now if you don't want that name to be there, you can click off, it just turns it off. Otherwise you can find it again, you can put logo in, and then you can import a logo and it'll put a picture there instead of Acme Inc. Okay, so back to home, and there is our first page, our home or landing page maybe, for our website. So just before we finish then, themes and how to add them, pages and how to move them, and also how to include or exclude them from your main menu, website menu. And then if you click on build, so find the page you want to design. Okay, so let's go to updates. So updates this is a blog page. Okay, so it's called updates, but this, as you can see from this, has been set up as a blog page. So I'm not going to go into that now, that's another video. Let's go back to home. And then let's go to build, top left. And now you can see you've got a whole load of they're basically all boxes like this. So this is a text box, quality surfware there, that's a text box. If we go up here, you can see that would have been the title. So if we wanted to add that, you can grab it and drag it across. Select where you want it to go based on the blue line. Okay, and let go. And it puts in, click here to edit. So that's a placeholder text. And then you can put here skiware. Now it's capitalized. You can, on some of these themes, you can change that in the theme font area, but this automatically comes in as capitalized. And yeah, there we are. I've got skiware in there, and I've got quality surfware underneath. Now you don't have to do that. What you can do, let's just get rid of that. So I'll go here and just click the red dot, and it says, do you want to delete? Yes. So instead of doing that, you can just click on here, and then you can just put in like so. And then maybe you wanted that to be under this. So what you can do is you can just drag that underneath. Okay. So that's all pretty straightforward, isn't it? Now I'm not going to go through all of this in detail in this one. I just wanted to show you that basically you've got lots of options here, and you can drag them onto your page and then edit them. So you can see you've got title or text, and then you've got image or image gallery, slideshow, which is a slideshow of images, a map, so that'll embed like a Google map, a contact form, so if you want someone to fill in a form, and then it will automatically, the website will email you that form with all the information it's collected, newsletter form, so if you want people to subscribe to you, a button, so there's an idea of a button, and you can change the style of that button and all sorts of bits about it. Embed code, this is quite nice, so you can grab it and drag it in somewhere, and then you can embed HTML code which will let one website work within your website. So it may be a Facebook stream, you might want that embedded in your website, or Twitter, or more importantly things like video and stuff like that. Now there are two options. You can either use the embed code and embed video from other video players like Vimeo, or Weebly happens to have a specific one for YouTube. So you can just drag that in, cut and paste the HTML address for the video you want to install, and it will automatically populate into that area and snuggle into the right size. You've then got spacer, so you can space this all out. And then you've got HD video and audio. So you can embed video and audio. As you can see with the little yellow or orange lightning bolt there, that means it's an upgrade option. So you'd have to pay more monthly or annually for your website hosting in order to be able to have video and audio provided by Weebly. But you can embed it from somewhere else. So for example from YouTube, or you could embed from various podcasters, or something like SoundCloud, for instance. You could embed SoundCloud in there. Scribe documents, so that's if you use the Scribe software, you can embed Scribe documents into your website. Files, so you can upload a file which is then clickable and can be downloaded by people. Flash, well, that's not used so much, but you can put Flash into the website. Products, so e-commerce, so this is your shop, so you can add, you can drag that across, and then what that will do is you can set that up as a that basically gives you a gallery of products. You can choose what products are going to populate automatically into that gallery and where that gallery is going to be on your page. Categories is categories of products, same thing, same sort of thing we talked about. Search box, so if you have this, again you have to upgrade for it. It means that people can just search in your website like they would on Google for particular articles or things like that. Block quotes for testimonials and stuff like that. Social icons, so you drag that in and then the social icons will populate wherever you want to put them. You just put in what your Facebook address is and your page address or whatever, and then when people click on the little icon, it'll take them in a separate page, if you choose, to Facebook. RSVP form, so for people to fill in a form, say they're coming to an event, for example, you can edit all of that, different fields, you can change the fields, all that sort of stuff. Survey, so you can put and drag in a survey, so if you want to take surveys of your customers. Google AdSense, so you can embed Google Ads into your website so that you can start to monetize your website. If it was a well-visited blog, then you link it to your Google AdSense account and embed those adverts, and then adverts show automatically using the Google bots to the people visiting your website, and then if they click, you get a small payment. And then cookie opt-out, so that's for when you want to drag in for, if you're in the EU, you need to have a cookie opt-out option on your website, and so that puts that in there so that people can choose what they want to do. And then at the bottom we've got add app, so there are loads and loads of third-party apps, some of them free, many of them free for limited features, and you can just you can click on that. It takes you to the App Store for Weebly, and you've got all sorts of apps that do all sorts of things, so like Instagram feed, for example. There's just lots and lots and lots of stuff, and you can add those apps, and then you can drag those boxes in, and it just makes the site a lot more user-friendly and interesting. So that's where we're going to stop this particular video, but we will in other videos be looking at how to edit these pages, and also how to do things like go into the back of the website, change SEO for the website itself, add different people so that they can edit or contribute to the website in terms of blogs and things, add and move and ban members, your apps there, and also blog. So you can have more than one blog on your website, and here you can see how the blog is going to show up and how people are going to comment. Are they going to use the Weebly comment section, or Discuss, which is an external app, or Facebook? And then you can set whether the default comments are open, when comments close, how comments are sorted. You can have smart capture, moderation, smart moderation, all the rest of it. And here is something we'll be looking at later, so we can put the category of the website, but we can also put our title in here, and then we need to set the web address that we want to post it as. We also get the option to set, once you've got a domain name, you can set it to be a secure SSL, so HTTPS web domain, which is nice because Google don't like unsecured websites. You can also change the favicon, so that's this up here, that's here, Weebly's little favicon. You can change that to your own branded favicon, again dependent on what package you have, what hosting package you have with Weebly. Set a site password if you want to, and then some basic stuff here like the date format, so you know whether you want it day, month, year, or month, day, year, etc. What the time format, where your local time is, which is obviously important if you've got a shop and people are going to contact you, and then your EU visitors cookie policy, so that's set at the moment for EU visitors only, but you can set it for all visitors. And then AdSense, so if you're going to put AdSense on your website, this is where you put your AdSense content, etc. Okay, so that is where we are at the moment. So that's a brief explanation of the editor and of the settings and how you get around things. And then in the next next video, we're going to look at how you start to edit your website, and we're going to be doing this as we design a website for a particular client. Okay, I hope that helps, and speak to you soon.